just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to a ground. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies,
All right. Welcome to Synchronistic Talk. I am Neb Teharka Kin, and I'm excited to share this powerful information. The basis of this information tonight is going to be, don't let the fear of the unknown stifle your growth. And a lot of times we allow that to happen. Now, many of you who understand and have been following us, we study Mayan and Olmec cosmology. And one of the reasons why we do that is to access deeper parts of our memory, to access higher states of consciousness, to operate in the body to be more effective in day-to-day society. And that's why I do it. We've been teaching this for the last 8 years, whole mind, fourth dimensional concepts to help the human species evolve, not just maintain and master the old reality. We truly are shifting from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience. Right now, as we speak, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram, and we're also on Clubhouse. And the reason why we are here with this message, because we know there are some of you out there that I would say are sick and tired of being sick and tired, that you really want to advance yourself. And many have studied a lot of different religions, a lot of different growth and development techniques and things of that nature. But I hadn't ever heard anybody talk about, how do I access more memory? Scientists say we really consciously use about 10% of our brain power, and the other 90% is unconscious. And that we have over 100 plus million years of memory stored in our brain, in our cerebellum. If that's true, how do we access it, and what kind of beings can we be on this planet with access to that and the knowledge and the emotional intelligence along with it? I can tell you what happened. We will be transforming the world that you see. And so with that, keeping that in mind, I'm very excited to share with you that we are truly making a shift. Some will accept, some won't accept, that shift from the information age into the telepathic age of the human. And with that process, it not only becomes into change, but more importantly, to be able to experience parts of yourself that has lied dormant for so long is a great adventure as well. So we want you all to take advantage of this information, this knowledge, and be able to move out of the different programs and the systems that keep us confined into that 1/10, keep us out of that 100+ million years of memory, and where we can't evolve or fulfill our galactic purpose on Earth. So I'm going to get right into it because I get excited when I start talking about this because, probably 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to accept or receive this type of information because I just thought it was too deep, too far out. Yeah, right. How can it happen? But we can truly shift into this telepathic age, just like we shifted out of the industrial age into the information age. And so now to be a part of this shift is truly incredible. Let's talk about what the word synchronicity means according to some of the text. Synchronicity refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence that synchronizes people. So when you start attracting the right people, you're in the right places and spaces at the right time and events into a meaningful order. I call it the synchronic order. We experience synchronicity when an outer event corresponds to our inner thoughts, perceptions, and or feelings. Now think about that. Now, when we're in sync with all of that, nothing goes wrong. The power of synchronicity is what helps nature unfold the way it does. So a synchronistic human defined as someone who is able to be multidimensional while unifying energy from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic evolution of humanity, Mother Earth, and the galactic whole. Wow. So very, 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 very powerful. When we talk about this word holonomic, we're talking about the whole mind. Now, a lot of us just think about the mind of the brain as the mind. And the brain and the mind are not the same thing. The brain is the instrument that processes consciousness. But the mind is like the software programs on your smartphone. It's outside of the mind, but it's connected to the processor so we can determine how to use it in our different day-to-day experiences. When we talk about whole mind from an energetic standpoint, the blood cells in our bodies connected to the circulatory system. The circulatory system is connected to the body. The body is connected to the biosphere, the earth is connected to the solar system, et cetera, et cetera. So energetically, these are all different versions of ourselves. And if we can connect to the consciousness of these different versions, we can receive some different messages to help us in our day-to-day reality fulfill our purpose in this experience. Okay, so let's talk about the last assignment. The last assignment was the, I should say, sixth archetype. The sixth archetype, the white world bridger, the Hierophant. The last assignment, and I want to recap on this, is to embrace your journey and make a list of things that you need to let go of. So this last one that we were talking about was really about how do you surrender and let go, right? So you want to move into a new type of reality. You want new, different types of relationships. You want new and different types of ways to prosper. You want new and different types of health regimens. Well, okay, make a list of things that you need to let go so that those things can actually happen. Ashe? And so now that you're able to do that, you now can say, okay, these may have been blockages impeding my progress from stepping into the light of the things that I wanted to go into next. And then before you end the cycles or let go of them, you want to make sure that you create an exit strategy. Now, why is that important? Okay, so if I wanted to stop smoking, for example, right? I don't smoke, but if I wanted to stop smoking, I would say, if I just stop right now, I might have some withdrawal symptoms because I'm so used to smoking. But if I'm thinking ahead and I have an exit strategy, I'm thinking, okay, so what can I do to fill the void so I won't feel the withdrawal as bad? How can I wean myself off of it? What can I use to replace whatever stimulated me by the smoking? What can I use to stimulate me in a different way where I won't think about it so much? exit strategy. If you're tired of your profession and you say, yeah, I want to just walk in my purpose. That's the end thing now. That's the, I feel like I want to move into my purpose. Well, great. But now what's your transitional plan? You're just going to step out there. That's a great story, but a lot of times we don't hear the whole story. We don't hear all the different, challenges that comes with that. And sometimes very few people make it. It's like they say being an entrepreneur is like jumping out of a airplane without a parachute. And so, or if you have a parachute, you got to get your parachute open. And if you hit the ground, you got to be able to get up from that fall. And most people can't get up from that fall. So what this last thing we were talking about in surrendering is, what do we need to let go of? What cycles do we need to end? And before you end them, if it's a relationship, if it's a habit, what is your exit strategy so you're prepared for the backlash or the withdrawal symptoms that come along with it? Okay, so that was that. So I don't know if any of you were able to take advantage of that. Every time we get on here on Wednesdays, we will post an assignment so that you can have something that you can use to integrate these concepts that I'm talking about. And some of them are simple concepts, some of them will be more complex, but at least in integrating them, it can be real for you. That's how I was able to do the things that I was able to do over these last 8 years. I got some of these abstract concepts and I put it into a practical form, and I was using it every day. And so now I can talk to you from a position of experience in terms of how this actually works in my life. All right. Now, this is coming from there's two key basic things that we follow. One, we follow the 13 moon calendar. Okay, and you can see that over to the right. The 13 moon calendar, we follow that because we realize that the moon has 13 cycles a year that are 28, that's a mean average of 28 days. So when I figured this out, I said, okay, so why am I following a 12-month calendar? Okay, the answer is simple. For capitalism, to be able to schedule things and doing research on this, calends means to account for, to count taxes back in those days. Okay, but what does that have to do with me ever evolving spiritually? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So if I want to evolve spiritually, I wanted to try something different that's connected to cosmic cycles. And when I did, I started to have insights that I never had before, downloads that I never had before, telepathic abilities that I didn't, I almost didn't want to say I had them, but I did. I said, let me make sure, because I don't want to get out here and say that I'm doing something or have people expect me to do something that I can't do. So when we look at this, if you multiply 13 times 28, you get 364 days and 1 day at a time before everything starts all over again. So we follow that calendar. Right now, we're in the last day of the 10th moon, all right, because this process starts back in July, of the moon of manifestation. It's called the planetary dog moon. And the dog is the compassionate one. And the compassionate one is the one that shows you the way. I look at compassion sometimes as tough love. Okay? And in this moon, each moon asks a question. All right, now we're in the process where, as of this year, I am determining that the Gregorian calendar is completely obsolete for evolutionary purposes. It's in its 441st year. And analyzing this backwards and forwards, it's a new cycle to follow if you want to evolve. To master the old program, okay, stay with the same 12 cycles. But if you move into this direction, you're going to see some of the things that I'm talking about. So you're going to find that this calendar is going to be removed, just like the Julian calendar was upgraded, so-called, by the Gregorian calendar by Pope Gregory XIII. All right, and so these two calendars, the 13 moon calendar is on the left side, and on the right side is the 260 spiritual calendar that we call the Zokin. And we follow that calendar because it helps us understand how to access our memory. All right. And once we show you what the kin are. So everybody has a kin number. The kin are holarchic templates of light, dynamic frequencies of light, and part of the tones of creation. And when they come together, they create an expression of the creator. And we all incarnated on one of those expressions of the creator. And so by doing so, now when we understand the expression that we are working with, we are now in a position to use it to help us find our purpose. In fact, live our purpose. You can't get here into the physical realm without a purpose. So many people spend their whole life trying to find their purpose. And I tell people, you can't get in here. You can't be a human in physical form without one. The question is, what happened? Why do we are experiencing amnesia where we've forgotten? So it's a journey of remembrance. And so when we look at it from that perspective, everything looks a whole lot different. Why? Because if it's a journey of remembrance, then something happens to us that doesn't make sense. Every time something happens that doesn't make sense, I say, I'm about to remember something. What am I about to remember? And I wait. And I receive an intuitive impulse. And it takes me on a path. And then I find out clearly, verbatim, okay, this was what I was supposed to remember from this experience. And this is what I'm supposed to remember from that experience. Okay? And so I have a saying here, who owns your time or your timekeeping methodologies owns your mind. Change your time and change your mind. Change your mind and you will change your world. So we're all looking at this experience through a kaleidoscope. We're all having, that's why they say perception is in the eye of the beholder. We're experiencing this based on the level of consciousness that we're at. And if we understand that, if we want to experience more, there are other levels of consciousness that we can evolve to so that we can see more and experience more than we're already experiencing. All right. So what's the solution? Of course, following the 13 moon calendar. That's a cosmic cycle. That's not just something I'm making up. The moon has 28-day cycles, a mean average of them, and 13 of them a year. And that is very connected to the female menstruation cycles. So finding out what that relationship in terms of creativity and energy does to advance the human species is a great thing to do. You won't know until you try, right? And so I want to go ahead and now tap into the prayer of the 7 galactic directions, because this prayer helps you bring your consciousness into a place and space where you can receive those intuitive impulses and you can act on them if you choose, or you could just journal them. Sometimes it takes journaling it first before you act on it so you can gain confidence in your intuition. That's God speaking to you. Okay? So let's go ahead with the prayer. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. And if you're able to face the north, face the north. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us so we may know all from within. Okay, that's good. We want to know everything from within, the God within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action so we may do what must be done. Okay, now once we change our behavior into the right actions, from the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary beings. That's prospering. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya Maho. Ayum Unab Ku Eva Maya Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. So when we're looking at this prayer, now I always see people drop off during the prayer, but let me tell you something. Prayer is so powerful because not only are you being telepathic with yourself, the power of God in you, you're now able to channel that energy into other places, spaces, and people to awaken the spirit in them, to cover them. And I'm going to tell you, it's the most powerful thing to magnetize what you want in your experience, to magnetize the behavior that's going to help. The behavior is going to be what? Your savior. So a lot of times we just want to click our heels and everything change. Sometimes that happens, but most of the times we have to change our behavior, right, into right action and do what must be done. And then we get the fruit. A lot of the times we want to put the cart before the horse. We want the fruit first, right? And then we'll do everything else. No, that's not how it works. 9 times out of 10. How it works, if you got a fireplace and you don't have no wood in the fireplace and you say, give me heat, you're probably not going to get no heat. But if you go out there and chop some wood and put the wood in there now and light it, now you're going to get the heat. Right action got the wood, so you can warm things up for yourself, right? So this prayer is powerful, prayer altogether. We're on the last day or plasma of the planetary dog moon. And like I said, this is the question. Listen, everybody, listen. Whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Clubhouse, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, I want you to listen to this question. We already asked it 27 consecutive days, and now this is the 28th day. Here it goes. How do I perfect what I do? How many of you all want to be better manifestors? Well, you got to learn how to better perfect what it is that you do. Right? You listen, you want, this is how you earn your place in space. This is how you reach levels of mastery to show yourself approved and appointed for whatever it is that you are about to do next. And when you reach a level of mastery, watch this. Instead of you going out and looking and manifesting, what you manifesting is manifesting you to manifest it. What you manifesting is manifesting you to manifest because it has a purpose in the grand scheme of things. And you just happen to have the frequency and the wherewithal to step up and say, I'm the one to master this so the world can see this experience and it's coming through me. You see, and to take that kind of dedication and focus will allow you to manifest the experience and understand that the experience has manifested you as the exemplar, as the go-to person to go ask, hey, how did you do that? So the next person can take instruction from you if willing, and they can do it too. The truth is anybody and everybody can do it. Like I said, what you manifesting is also manifesting you to manifest the manifestation. That's very powerful. All right, that's the relationship. Now, here's the 260-day calendar, the Zolkin. You can see, I call it, it looks like the galactic DNA for those of you that can see the live stream. And for those of you that are on Clubhouse, if you look in the chat, the link is at the top to tap into the live stream so you can see the visual aids if you like. Okay, but when we look at this, you know, these green areas here are portals. Now, this is a spiritual calendar to help us go through each of the different 260 expressions of the Creator. Not that they're limited to that, but those are the dynamic frequencies that we're talking about. And those darker areas, the green areas, are portals into your memory. So if we have over 100+ million years of memory stored in our brain, how do you think that we're going to get to the memory? What are portals? What's going on in outer space? This is all consciousness that's creating an expression to inform us of something. But because we become so artificial in our thought process, because of smartphones, we think less, and our critical thinking skills have reduced, and our creative skills or creative thinking skills have reduced, and we let ChatGPT do it for us. We let all this other stuff do it for us. And so we don't have an original thought as much as we used to, right? So tapping into your memory can go deeper into your mind and bring that creativity out in a whole nother way, okay? So you can see we're on kin number 193. The red spectral skywalker is the name of the kin, all right? And listen what it says as far as the affirmation. Now, this is in the blue night wave spell. Now, we call a wave spell a cycle of evolution. The night wave spell deals with the power of abundance. Now, whether you like the name blue night wave spell, there's all kind of spells. There's the gospel, there's the wave spell. There's all kind of spells out here. What spell are you tapping into that's going to help you evolve? Or is the spell to help you watch other stuff evolve? So the spell, according to us, help you evolve is the blue night wave spell that talks about abundance, dreaming, and listening to your intuition. All right. So this is the red spectral skywalker. Here's what it says on the 11th step out of 13 of this evolutionary cycle. I dissolve in order to explore. What are you dissolving? The things that are blocking you from your abundance. Releasing wakefulness. I seal the output of space with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by the output of space, my own power double. So if you don't dissolve something, then you're going to have to resolve it. If you don't resolve it, then you're going to have to evolve it. Okay? But if it stays there, it's going to block you from going to the next level, right? So we read it 3 times in order to lock it in. I dissolve in order to explore. What are we exploring? Different aspects of our mind to access more abundance, to be able to trust, to have the primal trust, to listen to our intuition. Releasing wakefulness. So we have a stronghold on our wakefulness because we're afraid of the unknown. I seal the output of space or consciousness, the expression of consciousness in infinite space, with the spectral tone of liberation. As I do this, I become free. I become liberated. I'm guided by the output of space, my own power double. One more time to lock it in. I dissolve in order to explore, releasing wakefulness. I seal the output of space with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by the power, by the output of space, my own power doubled. Now that sounds different than, hey, it's hump day. You might not understand everything that I'm saying, but I understand it's hump day, like, oh, I'm getting over a hump. Now it's downhill till Friday, and then I'm getting ready for the weekend of things. No, I'm about to explore this consciousness. I'm about to dissolve my blockages so I can access abundance. I'm about to be liberated for whatever has a stronghold on my mind. And I'm not going to be afraid to put my consciousness out in space, because guess what? Whatever I put out is going to return to me in my physical and spiritual equivalency. And we're going to double that by my own power, doubled. That's what that's saying. So that's different. That gets your wheels turning a little bit different. It gets you thinking a little bit differently, feeling a little bit differently. And that might produce some different opportunities. Let's look at what it says about this particular archetype, which is the Skywalker and or the prophet. Here we go. I am the prophet, coded by the red Skywalker. 13 is my number, the wave spell of creation. Many times in many worlds have I known, for I am the agent of universal time, exploring space with all abiding wakefulness. I am the colonizer of lost worlds, the galactic navigator of time, the all-seeing eye of the fifth force anoints my brow. In my right hand, I hold the book for the law of time, a gift from the star family. In my left hand, I hold the galactic compass, the Syrian wheel, the compendium of the prophetic way. Prophecy is natural law, a function of the time. My shirt bears the two numbers 13 and 20. That's the frequency of natural time, by the way. Crossing the barriers of time and space, I am crowned by the sign of the infinite cycles of time. To know me is to know the prophecy of time within the promise of the coming dawn, the promise of the new time, the shift from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience. So let's talk a little bit more about this 13th archetype, the Red Skywalker, the prophet. You can look at all of the Star Wars trilogies and series out there, that the Skywalker dealt with what? The Force, the Jedi, right? And so we're talking about the mind, right? So with this, let's just look at the Skywalker. Let's look at some of the qualities it says about the Skywalker, right? Which the spiritual name for the Skywalker is called Ben, right? Fluid reference points, qualities, time, space traveler, time traveler, okay. Skywalker, angelic messenger. So a lot of these are world teachers, these Skywalkers, people are born. You need to find out. If you don't know your archetype, you don't know. You may be a prophetic teacher going through your challenges now to find out later. Find out now. Find out now who you are, okay? Pillars of heaven, courage, new directions, mysterious journey, and compassion. The number for the Skywalker is 13, which is the number of the cosmos. The element is earth. The direction is east. Let's talk about the shadow wisdom of this archetype. Desire for isolation. How many of you have a desire sometimes for isolation? If you don't already know your archetype, you might find yourself being a Skywalker. Withdrawal. So when we withdraw, there's some fear there. Okay? Here we go. Fear of the unknown. That's what the title of this topic is. So we're talking about the shadow wisdom, because when we shift into these shadows, now we may have some confusion about how to step back into the light of our consciousness where everything is fluid and flowing. There's wisdom in the shadow. Limited reference points, right? So we may be operating in lack versus the abundance that we're talking about in this cycle of evolution. And here's a good one: oversensitivity. Oversensitive, get offended easy, and things of that nature, right? So when we look at this, the shadow transformation, let's talk about it. Explore your growth edges, okay? All right, explore your growth edges by directly facing your challenges. How many of you, when you get faced with a challenge, you be like, oh man, I gotta go work out some more. I gotta go study some more. Or I gotta go do this some more, that some more. Because we don't have the confidence that we're prepared for the challenge that we're about to meet. I'm gonna address that here in a second. Draw the light of courage and compassion into yourself and radiate it out to others. That's what I'm talking about. Wakefulness, right? Releasing wakefulness. Look at life as a sacred journey, right? And the affirmation says, I am the pillar of the invisible temple that brings heaven to earth. Now, this is what it states in the Mayan Oracle, is where I was reading from. All right, so let's deal a little bit more deeper into this issue. How many of you let the fear of the unknown stop you from taking advantage of new opportunities? Put that in the chat, if you will. You let it stop you from taking advantage of new opportunities. Okay? New opportunities. And so in being able to do that, those new opportunities, you're in an incredible position where you now are able to say, wait a minute, why would I let what I don't know, watch this, stop me from what I do know? Ooh. What am I doing seeking to improve myself and letting what I don't know stop me from what I do know? And so as we begin to think about the life progressions and the things that we want to experience in this life, we now are in an esteemed position to say, wait a minute. So if I keep on letting what I don't know stop me from making progress, it's going to stifle my growth. I'm not going to be able to evolve. I'm not going to be able to better myself. I'm not going to be a better example for my children or my spouse or for whatever my profession is. I'm not going to be able to be an exemplar of what I deem to master. So don't let fear of the unknown stifle your growth. Let the fear of the unknown ignite your growth. And dare to be great, dare to be beautiful, dare to go out and launch out into the deep and explore. This is what the Skywalker says, to dissolve in order to explore. What are they talking about? Dissolve your fear of the unknown. Now that you dissolved your fear of the unknown, it can't stifle your growth. It can only catapult you to the next levels in which you want to be in. And so when we think about this whole ideal, now we can create a prophecy for our progress and those who follow us. Many Skywalkers, they're leaders, they're vanguards. They're people that go and explore areas that no one else is willing to explore. And they come back with a prophetic message. They pay the price. They go out first. They're the point man, the point woman. And they're already, before they go out, they've made a decision. I'm not going to let fear of the unknown stop me from progressing. Now, if you find yourself in this headspace of fear of the unknown stifling you, and you become aware of it, watch this. Awareness is the key to change. Once you become aware of something, you no longer can use it as an excuse for you not making progress any longer. Because if you know what's stopping you, then it's up to you to do your due diligence to develop the intelligence to outthink what's stopping you so it won't stop you no more. That's what it is that we do. Okay? So when we're talking about these shadow aspects and how to deal with it, we deal with this all the time in life. And here's something for those of you that are really on the edge of your seat and paying attention. Watch this. When something shows up in your life, it's showing up, especially if you're on this path of enlightenment, especially if you are growing spiritually. And many times we say, oh, the road for the spiritual people is harder. No, it's not. Let me tell you what happened. You just now starting to look at the stuff you buried and it's surfacing from the past. See, it didn't matter before. See, when you wasn't growing spiritually, it didn't matter that you lied about this. It didn't matter that you hid this and buried it. So you didn't have to deal with it. And you keep burying this and burying that. And so when it comes to spiritual growth, oh, okay, the Creator says, okay, well, if you want to grow spiritual, how about this that you did, but you didn't complete? How about that over here that you didn't address? How about this over here that you was ashamed of? Now address these things so you can move to the next octave. You can move to the next octave. So what people do, let me tell you what they do. Let's act it out. Something happens. Let's just say, right, your car breaks down. Oh man, why would my car break down now? I'm gonna be late for my appointment. I gotta pick up my children. Why would this happen now? It always happens to me. See? And guess what? What you've done is fueled your subconscious mind to recreate a similar situation because that's what you gave all your emotion to. Instead of saying that, you might say, you know what? It might be time for a new car. Let's go ahead and get this thing fixed. And let's go looking at some cars after I get this fixed because maybe it's time. Well, Neb Teharka, I don't know how I'm going to have the money for the car. You don't need to know how you're going to have the money. All you need to know is that you want to have it and that you got the emotions linked to getting it versus what happened with the car breaking down. And so now I guarantee you some opportunities for a new car, a better car are going to come forward. It works the same thing in relationships. It works with opportunities. What do they say? When one door shuts, a new one opens up. But we so focused on being mad about why this other thing showed up. And we know we've been praying. We know we've been asking for a new life. We've been asking for a new companion of destiny. We've been asking for better health. We've been asking for prosperity. And as soon as the opportunity comes to you to remove what's blocking you from getting it, we get mad and roll around on the floor like a 3-year-old and go tell everybody, girl, I can't believe that this happened. I'm sick of this happening. You know, and it's called a pity party, right? They're going to say, well, guess what happened to me today? It must have been Mercury retrograde. It must have been this. It must have been that. It must have been I went out drinking last night. Whatever the case, as long as we put emotion to it, we're going to recreate it. The subconscious mind says, you know what? I guess that's what you want, since that's what you're putting all your energy and focus on. And your wish is my command. Look at these situations as if when it shows up, it's showing up for you to address once and for all so you can remove it and get out of my way so that I can now access what it is that I really desire to experience. Let's get it on. I like to say, you know what, challenge? I'm glad you showed up. I need a little challenge. You can't get wealthy without a challenge. You can't get a better situation, a better job, a better business without a little challenge. A challenge to what? To go to a higher level of consciousness. So you can't any longer let the fear of I don't know what's going to happen. And then as soon as something bad happens, you say, see, every time I want to advance, these type of things happen. And your subconscious and the power of God in you is saying, what do you mean, see? I bought it so you can address it and remove it as a blockage so you can have what it is you want. You ever notice that? I'll tell you, there's 3 things you got to do to get anything that you want. Well, 2. 1, know what you want and be clear and descriptive about it, right? 2, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get it? And I say sacrifice because the challenge is going to say, do you want the past or do you want the future? Which one is it? But soon as we know what we want, the first challenge comes and we start questioning, do I really want this? Is it really worth it? Should I have picked something else? No, you prayed about it. You meditated on it. You journaled on it. You made a decision about it. So no, I'm here to stay. You going circumstance, you the one that's going to leave. I'm here to stay. I'm the one that made it this way. So now when the circumstance pops up, you know it's here for you to remove it as an obstacle out of your way to clear the path so you can access what it is that you really want. So get excited when the challenge comes. I can't wait sometimes for the challenge to come. So I'll sit there and meditate and focus. Hey, I want this new thing. Hey, I want a new business. Hey, I want a new vehicle. I want this and I want that. And here comes the first thing that's going to come. What is it, family? The challenge. And when the challenge comes, it's going to come in the form of a circumstance. because it's going to frustrate you. It's going to trigger something from the past in you. It's going to make you feel like you're going to have some anxiety. You're not going to be able to get past it. And you're going to say, wait a second. That guy, Neb Teharka, however you pronounce his name, he said the challenge is going to come. And when the challenge comes, I need to step into the challenge. And I need to master the challenge so I can remove it out of my life and get what I want. And then sometimes it's more than one challenge. It's 2 challenges, 10 challenges, 100 challenges. Every challenge that comes after you declare and decree what you want, you now are in a position where you are a step or a challenge closer to it. That's how you got to look at it. Great, I'm alive. I got a challenge. Let's get it on. I've been waiting for you. You see, especially financial challenges, right? But we've been trained to let it take the life out of us. I guess how am I going to keep this house? You know, I'm 2 months behind, and now they got me in foreclosure. Well, ain't nothing better challenge to overcome. Either A, you're going to get you another place that's more economical for you, or you can say, wait a minute. Let's bring this ingenuity out and let me show you I can produce it. Of course, if you stay the same, then it's just going to keep on progressing. But somewhere you said you want to be better. Somewhere you said you want to keep this house. Somewhere you said you want a better vehicle or a better partner. So that comes with a challenge. And if you get this, you won't let the fear of the unknown of that challenge stop you from your growth. You'll let it ignite your growth. And you won't be a hostage any longer. What they say, you could either be a host for God or a hostage to your ego. I think I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer or somebody say that years ago, but that kind of just came in my head right now. You see? So now what are we going to do about it? Well, we're not going to let the fear of the unknown stifle our growth, right? We're going to let it ignite our growth, and we're going to get out of our own way, right? The assignment is I want you to write down 3 things that you have the fear of because you don't know the outcome that's causing you to pause or stop in your tracks versus continuing to make progress. And when you write down those 3 things, I want you to also write down what would it take to get past these challenges. You will find when you start writing it down, it's not much at all, right? It might take a focus, right? Let's say it's working out, right? You're sleepy when it's time to work out. Go to bed earlier. Okay, that didn't work. Go run around the house screaming and wake everybody up, and they get mad. That'll wake everybody up and wake you up too. Splash some cold water on you. If somebody has done it, you could do it, right? So come up with the things that you're afraid to move forward in, or what are you really afraid of, and then make up some things to get past that. And once you write that down, do it, execute. Use it to ignite your growth. You're going to learn something new, right? I always say, when was the last time you did something for the first time? That's showing growth. If you thinking a long time about when was the last time you did something for the first time, that means you're not growing, family. And you're not going to be prepared for the challenges that's going to come your way. And your confidence is going to go the opposite direction. Ashe? All right, Ashe. So your assignment, 3 things, write down 3 things that you fear the unknown of that stifled your growth or is stifling your growth. And then the next step is to say, what would it take to get past these things? And then make a decision on one of them. Pick one and say, I'm about to get past it. I'm going to focus on this until I get past it. Every day. You got to fight me every day and get past it. And then you know what you are? Have you seen the Matrix when Neo, the first Matrix, when Neo went into the Agent Smith and broke out of him and broke him to pieces, the other 2 agents looked at each other and ran. Them other two challenges you got on the sheet, they're going to look at each other and say, we out of here. He done figured it out. She done figured it out. We out of here. All right. So that's the assignment. Couple of announcements. Tomorrow night, listen Clubhouse, listen YouTube, listen Facebook and Instagram. I want you to join us tomorrow because we're going to have what we call the 260 Kin Quantum Leap. Even if you don't got your Kin number yet, get on and just feel the vibe. Because what we're doing, and when we bring the 260 Kin together in the physical, is we are creating and developing the galactic brain to access the cosmic mind or the cosmic memory that's stored in our cerebellum so that we can operate at higher states of consciousness while in the body. You definitely want to be a part of that. You don't want to say, oh, I'm going to be too busy. I got to do this. I got to do that. Well, if it ain't going to help you evolve like this, see if you ain't assembling something like this to move us into the telepathic age so you can know what's going to happen before it happens, you know what? That alleviates your fear of the unknown. Did you know that? The telepathic age is bringing in new insights to take. See, what happens is, if there's no longer an unknown, then you can't fear something that ain't unknown no more because you're already in the know. So this is going to be incredible. And what we're going to be doing, we're gearing up. We have May the 2nd, which is tomorrow. We got one more milestone on June the 24th. And then on July 7th is Kin 260. And there's a big deal with that, with assembling us together on a line, and we're going to do a meditation, and we're going to send a total 260 faces of the creator signal out into the ethers to return back a physical and spiritual equivalency to help us in our personal endeavors and collectively. It's going to be powerful. So you don't want to miss that. And it's going to be on StreamYard. So we'll be streaming on YouTube as well as Facebook and IG as well. Okay, so join us. It's going to be a powerful, powerful setting. Also, I want to invite you to Sunday. My God, I don't know if those of you, if you know what you're missing, but on these Sundays at 10:30, we have what's called Amplify Your Purpose. And this last Sunday, Companions of Destiny was off the charts. You need to get with some of these people that, hey, were you on Sunday? Did you hear the message? And they're going to say, yeah, man, let me tell you something. It was incredible. You know, you can still get it. If you're an IM member, you can get on the IM membership and you can get the replays. But come first. You know, this ain't about you trying to hurry up and get you on or something. Come and feel the vibe of what we're talking about, and it's going to blow your mind. And you're going to say, I'm going to need some more of that, Neb Teharka. So come and join us. How to release the unevolved being, right? The unevolved state of being. How do you do that? We're going to talk about it in layman's terms, how to do it. All right. And these are just some dates that are exciting. So take a screenshot of this. 5/5, we're going to have the Amplify Your Purpose, right? And then on 5/9, we're going to start our new Kin orientation. So a lot of you that are listening, you don't even have your Kin number yet. You don't even know what it's all about. You're like, it sounds confusing, but it's intriguing. Let me find out more. And the more you find out, the more insights you're going to start having. And you say, let me check out this new Kin orientation on the 9th. And then that's when it's going to click. It's going to start clicking for you. All right. We end our spring quarter on 5/15. And then we're going to do exercise from May the 28th to June the 16th on correcting the error of time when they took out the first 10 days of the Gregorian calendar to correct the errors of the Julian calendar. And then on 6/24, we're going to have another check-in like we're going to have tomorrow. 7/7, July 7th is going to be the big meditation. We have as many of those 260, if not all of them, all online together doing our meditation. And on July the 25th, we're going to have the Day Out of Time celebration. That's what DOOT stands for, Day Out of Time celebration, because we're going to start the new cycle right in the Lions Gate, which is the 26th of July through August the 8th. But on the 26th and 20 through the 28th, we're going to have advanced discipline workshop. So we got our work cut out for us. So you got to get in where you fit in. Okay, wherever you might want to go at a slow pace, you might want to go at a fast pace, but message me and let me know. Because let me tell you something. At the end of the day, evolution is the solution, right? I said evolution is the solution. Once you evolve, you become God over your circumstances, and they can't punk you no more. Your circumstances can't, because you realize another version of yourself that dwarfs those circumstances. And now you can move forward differently. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? I'll check on Clubhouse and look in the chat here on YouTube. Let me see if I can go on to Instagram. All right, Instagram. Does anybody, let's see, have any questions? And maybe not. All right, but with that being the case, I'm gonna go back here to check here. Let's see. All right, so I don't see any questions. Definitely inquire about these upcoming events. And you don't have to see, a lot of you, after hearing this, you're going to let the fear of the unknown stop you from evolving. Not even growing, evolving. And to evolve, you got to love yourself. That's why the first 4 letters of evolve is love spelled backwards. You got to love yourself enough to evolve. You got to love yourself enough not to fear the unknown, so it won't stifle your growth. All right. And I'm telling you, now is the time. We're in this leap year. Okay. And I've been talking about this the whole year. We've had an incredible cycle. Well, Neb Teharka is only May. Well, I don't follow the Gregorian calendar. We started our cycle back July 26th. So we're coming into the last 2 to 3 moons left in this cycle. And it's been a ride out of this, which is amazing. It's truly a quantum leap year. And some of you can still realize that if you're willing to surrender to your process of evolving. And you'll see things you've never been able to see and be like, wow. It's going to be 2 types of people, right? There's going to be the type of person who say, man, you'll see what's going to happen over the next 3 to 5 years. You're going to say, man, I wish I had her. And then the other part of you, which is only going to be a few of you, it's only going to be a couple of you going to say this. I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I didn't self-sabotage. I'm glad I didn't let the fear of the unknown stop me from evolving. I'm glad that I started bettering myself. I'm glad that I found that I started to master things. I'm glad that I ignited my growth. Right? But most people are going to say, I wish I had her. Right? Cryptocurrency. Man, I wish I had kept that Bitcoin. I wish I would have kept that Amazon stock. And that's just money. Pales in comparison to access your own mind and your consciousness. You see? So with that being said, I don't see any questions, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful for this experience. We'll be right back here next Wednesday, so on Synchronistic Talk. And we'll be talking about these archetypes up until June 16th. And then we're going to start having some guests on here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we want you to keep joining us, follow us. You definitely can follow me on IG, right, at Neb_Teharka. You can use that same name to follow me on Clubhouse or Facebook. And you can find me on YouTube the same way. And let's start a dialogue. And more importantly, let's put whatever differences we got aside and evolve together. The world needs us to. So with that being said, this is going to conclude our session. In Lakesh, I am another you, Allah King. You are another me. Hotep, Hetepu, and Namaste. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you tomorrow on the 260 Galactic Kin check-in. You got any questions, just message me. Right? I'll see you. I'll see you in the session tomorrow. Peace.
It's just different.
am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.